Bharti Gosai Maharaj, a gift to the entire world. And he also shown the ideal example of being monam. Because those who have associated with Srila Maharaj, we all know what kind of personality Srila Maharaj was. One who was always vachal, speaking. From morning till night, he was very fond of speaking. He just need 1 or 2% in his room and he was keep on speaking. Even connecting the ordinary, some news from this material world. Srila Maharaj used to connect this with with the pastimes of Krishna, pastimes of Mahaprabhu, and some lessons derived from those instructions. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Gosai Maharaj Ji, he used to say, example of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosai Maharaj, and also he quote Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Gosai Maharaj, and of course my Guru Maharaj, saying that he has never seen in his life those acharyas ever kept quiet, even in their sickness pastimes. Especially Srila Maharaj gave example of Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Gosai Maharaj. In his final pastimes in this material world, his servants used to stop him. That Gurudev, the doctor told not to speak so much. And Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Gosai Maharaj chastising his sevakas, saying, "We are Saraswati Putras. We are Saraswati Putras." Putra means son. That means we are son of Saraswati. Saraswati Thakur. We have never learned in our life to be quiet. We live with Harikatha and we will leave our body speaking Harikatha. So we have all seen the video, the final lesson. One of our acharyas, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, also, he's lying on bed and is giving commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. And all acharyas, our Gurudev also. And all of us, we have seen Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Gosai Maharaj Ji, always and always speaking Harikatha, non-stop Harikatha, starting from morning Mangal Aarti. He used to take few minutes rest, and if a sevak is bringing some water or something inside, Srila Maharaj start speaking Harikatha. And so sharp memory that what happened 50 years back, 50 years back, he used to say, I was in one taxi. The driver name was so and so. He had 3 children, and even remember the names of those children. Even the name of the neighbor of that taxi driver. So many details. Once upon a time, when we got initiated, me and my godbrother Madhapriya Prabhu, we heard from devotees in our mutt, Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Mutt, that Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Maharaj, he served our Guru Maharaj in so many ways throughout his life. That was year 1996, 97, I think. So we came to know, we were very curious to know who is Srila Bharti Maharaj. So we heard that he stays in Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mutt in Jagannath Puri. He spent most of the time there. So we went there, we asked devotees, and they showed us that room. He's there. First time we saw Srila Maharaj, we paid obeisances to him. We said, Maharaj, we came to know from our senior godbrothers You served our Guru Maharaj in so many ways. So just we want to know from you the glories of our Guru Maharaj. Srila Maharaj was so happy to hear this. And then he started speaking. And that was endless talk, non-stop. So and so that we were falling asleep. But Srila Maharaj was continuing like he has hundred of mouths, describing and glorifying Guru Maharaj, his contributions to this world, and also glorification of his Guru Maharaj and sweet relationship, being God brothers together, staying so long, so many years together and serve their Guru Maharaj. From there, the relationship developed. Then once upon a time, Srila Maharaj, he also used to come to Vrindavan, Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and we both were in Shri Keshavji Gaudiya Math in Mathura. And we used to go and visit Srila Maharaj and hearing his Harikatha. And that was after lunch prasadam, around 1:30, 2 o'clock. So as brahmachari, as all brahmacharis, we used to keep a chadar on our shoulder, that upper cloth. So it was very hot. When we were sitting in his room, because it was hot, I kept my chadar on the ground and hearing his Harikatha. First of all, when we arrived in the room, Maharaj offered a seat to us. Sit on the seat, on the chair. We said, no, Maharaj, we can't sit on the chair. And he said, why not? We are God brothers. And we were looking at each other, what Maharaj is saying. So, no, Maharaj, we are just like your disciples. We are not God brothers. He got so pleased to hear this when we sat on the ground paying obeisances to him. And immediately Maharaj started speaking his Harikatha just by this. He said, yes, this is what we have learned in our life. He said, I never dare ever sit on the same level as our Guru Vargas. So he started speaking Harikatha, and that was hours and hours and hours. Then Maharaj, he wanted to go to restroom, and he stepped on my the chadar. And then he noticed that, oh, what I did. Srila Maharaj, he paid obeisances to that cloth on which he stepped on. And we were saying, Maharaj, what are you doing? Srila Maharaj used to give a lesson here. He said, the cloths of Vaishnavas, the shoes of Vaishnavas, the utensils of the Vaishnavas have to be equally honored and respected as Vaishnavas. He said, I have learned from my Guru Maharaj, we have two Ishta, two worshipable, Vishnu and Vaishnavas. He said, my Guru Maharaj used to say, our life is meant to serve Vishnu, means Krishna, and Vaishnavas. And if a choice has been given to us, to whom we have to choose, he said, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj said, he will rather choose service of Vaishnavas. And I served my Guru Maharaj, he said, I served my Guru Maharaj and associated with him very deeply, very closely. So for me also, serving Vaishnavas is more important than serving Krishna. This is our ideal. This is what I've learned, and this I always want to follow throughout my life. Srila Maharaj, words are full of gravity, as I was explaining this morning. Words with full of gravity and very subtle. He said, we have never learned in our life to speak something on gross level. We never ever learned in our life to speak on something gross because we never associate with those who are on the immature gross level. Srila Maharaj said, I have throughout my life associate with those who are very certain in their dealings, very mature. So I adopted their and I have imbibed their moods in my life. Therefore, he himself used to claim, I never speak anything which is light. I never. And we also, according to our limited understanding, with full of anarthas. Srila Maharaj's speech was full of gravity and full of siddhanta and tattvas. Even when he's speaking some ras vichar, that ras vichar is also full of siddhanta. This was, I saw how much humble the Acharya of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Nityalila Pravesh Shri Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Gosai Maharaj. Once upon a time, I was in Chandigarh Math, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Gosai Maharaj, who's Acharya of that Math, he has to go out. He had some work. He wanted to go out for something. He came in Srila Maharaj's room. I won't believe he paid full flat obeisances to Srila Maharaj. We were surprised to see this. What? Then Srila Maharaj also, immediately he got up from his bed and he paid obeisances, not lying full-fledged because he has some problem with his knees, and he paid also obeisances to. And Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Gosai Maharaj humbly said, so I'm going out for some medical, some checkup with doctor. I'll see you later. Just greeting you, paying obeisances to you so that everything should go well with me. We were shocked to see the dealings between two pure devotees. The Acharya of a Math paying obeisances to Srila Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Gosai Maharaj used to say, all of his disciples knows this, that whatever he have heard from his Guru Maharaj, he only used to repeat that. Nothing adding or subtracting anything from his side. Exactly as it is. And if some disciples coming up with some questions to Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Gosai Maharaj, he very humbly used to say, I don't know the answer for this, or I've never heard from Guru Maharaj. Go to Bharti Maharaj. He can give you appropriate answer. So he was sending his disciples to Srila Maharaj for reconciliation if there is anything written in books or in any of his speech. Always he used to send his disciples to him. And Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Gosai Maharaj used to nourish all disciples with his shiksha. Srila Maharaj said, I never used to ask anyone who's coming into my class, which mutt you belong to and whose disciple are you? He said that's not my principle. Devotee means devotee. We all are under one umbrella. We are in one family, one kutumba. I am here to nourish everyone. Whoever wants to hear Hari Katha, who are sincere in hearing Hari Katha, I am always there to speak Hari Katha. This kind of profile, Maharaj, never any partiality or discrimination of whose disciple is from ISKCON or any Gaudiya Math doesn't matter. Because serving Vaishnavas is only my life. Maharaj used to say this. I did said this morning, I would like to repeat again because many more devotees joined, that today is Srila Maharaj appearance day, and we saw Srila Maharaj. I was with him couple of occasions on his appearance day, but I recall one memory that when I was with him in Chandigarh Wat on Shain Ekadashi, they start their Chaturmasya on this day, and our Guru Maharaj, he used to start on Purnima. So they follow this standard, following Chaturmasya from this day on. So many devotees came, disciples of Srila Bhaktivinoda Tirtha Goswami Maharaj and many others, to celebrate Srila Maharaj appearance day. Maharaj, we kept him, we brought him to a very nice decorated seat. We did Arati, and so many devotees, starting from sannyasis, brahmacharis, grastas, vanprasthas, they're offering their pushpanjali, flowers at his lotus feet, garlands, bringing cloths, giving donations to him. And he was happily accepting from all of them. Happily accepting from all of them. And this ceremony took so many hours because there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of devotees. After this was over, when mic was given to Srila Maharaj said, don't think I'm a fool sitting here to accept all of your offerings on my appearance day. I'm taking this as my appearance day not because I took birth on this day. That's a secondary. But my initiation also happened on this day. My Guru Maharaj blessed me with Harinam Diksha on this day. That's why I take this from that perspective. This is my appearance day. Maharaj gave a lesson. Our appearance day is not that when we got birth, but the day when we got initiation from our Guru Maharaj. Sakale Janma Mata Pita Pai. In each and every life, we get parents. But it's very rare opportunity to get blessings from Guru Maharaj, from spiritual master. When he gives Diksha, he's giving us life, that's spiritual birth. Srila Maharaj said, my Guru Maharaj blessed me on this day, that's why I remember this day. This is appearance day. And you all are here. You're worshipping me, you're giving so many gifts to me. I'm not fool that I'm here to accept all your worships and your gifts. I'm not that fool. I'm here to accept all these offerings, in a mood to serve all of you. Because in spiritual life, in spiritual world, giving is service and accepting is also service. Not only giving is service, but accepting is also service. Looks like disciples serve Gurudev, but in real sense, it's Guru who serve disciples. At homes, it's parents who serve the children, not the children serving parents. Shri Guru, he gives Diksha mantra, he gives qualification and nurture disciple with his realization, infusing his potency. That's the service of Guru to disciple. But it appears, it looks like disciple serving Guru. But in higher sense, from spiritual perspective, Srila Maharaj said, I accepted all of this because I want to serve all of you. You all came here to bless me on this day. so that I can perform my sadhan bhajan sincerely and I can serve my Guru Pad Padma sincerely throughout my life. I'm glad to see all so many Vaishnav and Vaishnavis here. You all are blessing me. When you're putting garland on me, that means you're giving blessings to me. Everyone was moved to hear this verse of Srila Maharaj. What a refined definition of service. Acceptance is service. I'm not following the sequence. Please forgive me for that. But whatever is coming into my memory. Srila Maharaj gave so much to this world and to us. In the form of his Hari Katha, his very deep thoughts on those vichar of Gaudiya Siddhanta, which he mentioned and compiled in his books, My Beloved Masters and Volcanic Energy. Those books are so enlightening, giving us so much energy, giving us so much strength to follow the standard. And very high standards is mentioned in those books. Srila Maharaj gave account that once upon a time when he was taking bath in a river, he came out and he was wiping his body with gamcha. And when Mataji came and she wanted to offer some gifts to Srila Maharaj, Srila Maharaj said, I refused because he said, I heard from my Guru Maharaj never to accept anything from any ordinary person that gives reaction. He said, I refused that, Mataji, but my Guru Maharaj was seeing this, means Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Gosai Maharaj. He saw this and he indicated to me, accept what she is giving, accept this. Srila Maharaj, receiving order from his Guru Maharaj, immediately accepted those ingredients, those things from Mataji, and she paid obeisances and she left. But then later, Srila Maharaj said, I asked my Guru Maharaj, you always telling us not to take anything from any ordinary person. This Mataji was not devotee, but you told me to accept. Guru Maharaj, I'm not able to understand your mood. Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj said, by accepting what she wants to offer to you, we are serving her mood of service. She has a desire to give something to sadhu. This is her serving mood. We are serving her serving mood so that she can learn and she can get nourished with this mood that we always supposed to give something to sadhus. Then Srila Maharaj said, then I realized acceptance is also called service. One other sweet memory with Srila Maharaj. The last day of Kartik, Utthan Ekadashi, is appearance day of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj. On that day, big celebration in Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Vrindavan, inviting so many devotees. And Srila Maharaj, because he was senior most amongst all his god brothers, he used to personally come to each and every sannyasi and brahmachari and even grasthas, offering them cloths, chandan, sandalwood paste on the forehead, and donation. These three things. Sandalwood on forehead, garland, cloths, and donation. 4 things. Because Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj also used to do this. Srila Maharaj said, we learned this from our Guru Maharaj, how to respect Vaishnavas. No compromise of any kind in serving Vaishnavas. No compromise. Even if we have scarcity of money, we can use that money to build buildings or many other projects to complete, but keep aside all others and give priority to serve Vaishnavas. Because me and my and godmother Madhapriya Prabhu, we were with Srila Gurudev, he was also present in Shri Gopinath Bhavan because this was Kartik time. So we were busy with Srila Gurudev in his room for something, I forgot that. But we were not able to attend the morning session of that festival, the glorification of Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Gosai Maharaj. So many Vaishnavas speaking his glories, but we were not present at that occasion. So we came late evening to see Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj. When we went in his room, when we entered in his room, Maharaj immediately stood up. He said, I was just waiting. And I kept these two sets of cloths for both of you. I'm just not showing off. Please don't take it otherwise. But that was the nature of Srila Maharaj. What to speak of brahmachari, sannyasi, grasthas, even pandas of Sri Jagannath Puri, the pandas of Sri Vrindavan. Srila Maharaj was so sharp and expert. He knew which panda liked what kind of cloths and what kind of gamchas. There are some Vrindavan pandas and the pandas from Gokul, Mahavan, they used to like gamchas from Assam. And when Maharaj used to travel, he's not straight away traveling from that territory, Assam, coming to that's like, northeast of India, and is coming to Vrindavan. He used to have big suitcase, and he knew that if I'm going Vrindavan, these pandas will come, and how I have to serve them. So he's carrying all the way those gamchas for those pandas because they are Brahmins of Vrindavan. And obeying the order of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, saying in Manashiksha, what is that first verse? Guru Goshte Goshaleshu Sujunu Bhusuru Gane. Giving respect to the Brahmins of Dham. Maharaj was keeping on his. Not coming directly. He has to go through so many other cities and coming finally to Vrindavan, but he's keeping in mind those pandas, those priests of Vrindavan, that they like that particular gamcha and I have to bring that for them. So much service mood of serving those pandas. And service mode of serving pandas of Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. Maharaj knew they like rasgullas, they like sweets. So he used to invite pandas and make sure everyone should get whatever they like. He was so particular about this service mood. That was something unique in his life. So when we both arrived in his room, Maharaj stood up and said, I was waiting. And he gave chandan on forehead. He put garland on both of us. And then he gave cloths, dhoti, donation. And Maharaj paid obeisances to me. Imagine. And I was in tears. Maharaji, what are you doing? Because we didn't expect it, he will do this. We thought he will just give this cloths and that's it. Maharaj paid obeisances and I paid flat obeisances to Maharaj. Said, Maharaj, what are you doing? He said, no, we learned this from our Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj used to do this. Vaishnavas are our worshipable. If I don't do this, I'll be at fault. Because today is my Guru Maharaj appearance day. I'm celebrating this, observing this by serving Vaishnavas. So we didn't expect it, Maharaj will do this. When he did Dandavas to me, and then he was about to do to Madhapriya Prabhu, Madhapriya Prabhu said, if you do this to me, I'm not accepting those cloths and donation from you. Try to understand the dealing here. Madhapriya Prabhu said, if you do this to me as you did, then I'm not ready. I'm not accepting those clothes and donation from you. And immediately Maharaj said, okay, then I will not do Dandavastri. But try to understand the mood behind this. Pleasing Vaishnavas is only my life. If Vaishnavas are not pleased, if I'm paying obeisance to him, if he's not happy with this, then I won't pay obeisance to him. If he's not happy, because my purpose is only to make them happy. But he started, he paid obeisances immediately without even notice. So we didn't expected this. So we got little, shaken. What he's doing? We never seen anywhere else this kind of humbleness and humility. So humble. Stepping on my cloth, paying obeisances to the cloth. He wants to give me a lesson. Acharya is always giving a lesson. This is the mantra they are giving to us. Never step on any shoe of a Vaishnava. Never step on any cloth of the Vaishnava. To speak of, step on the body of a Vaishnava, or even touch the body of Vaishnava with one feet. It's very offensive. Maharaj is acting as Acharya Shiksha Guru, teaching with his own example. And how we should observe appearance and disappearance of our Guru Padma. Maharaj is showing this one example. He is not supposed to do this, but he did this, showing us this example. So much humility. Once upon a time, there was a brahmachari in my center, Shri Radha Madhav Gaudiya Math, Faridabad. Maharaj was inside his room, and prior to Hari Katha, we used to sing 1 hour bhajans. When Srila Maharaj came, sat on his seat, brahmachari, he sang this bhajan. Shirupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mora Sampada. Everyone liked this bhajan. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, when he was performing his final pastimes, he asked devotees to sing this bhajan. I want to hear this. And Srila Bhakti Rakshashida Gosai Maharaj, he sang for him. So when this brahmachari was singing this, Maharaj was smilingly hearing this bhajan. He was relishing this. But immediately then, after bhajan was over, Maharaj said, do you understand the meaning of this bhajan? What is the translation? I'm not asking about the translation. What is the gravity of this bhajan? And we were just looking at his face, what he's about to say. Srila Maharaj gave his realization on this. Narottam Thakur singing this bhajan, expressing the gravity of the Ashya Vigraha over Vishwa Vigraha. Srila Maharaj said, this is our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Predominance of Ashya Vigraha, subject of worship, over object of worship. We are Gaudiyas. Our aim and object is to attain Palyadasi mood, the Kinkari mood, to become the maid servant of Radharani. The predominance of Radharani over Krishna, that's Gaudiya philosophy. In this bhajan, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Shri Narottam Thakur is glorifying Ashray Tattva, Shri Rupa Manjari. Ashray Tattva. Because he's singing Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Sei Mora Sampada, Sei More Bhajana Puja. The lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari is only my bhajan and only my object of worship. whereas it's supposed to be Krishna. Say vrata, say tapa, say mora mantra japa. Say vrata. Do we fast on Shakti Tattva? No, we only fast on Vishnu Tattva. But Shri Gautam Thakur is saying, say vrata. Her divine, Shri Rupa Goswami's, Shri Rupa Manjari's divine lotus feet is only my vrata. Say tapa is only object of my tapasya. Say mora mantra japa. I only want to chant the mantra of Shri Rupa Manjari. We chant God mantra, we chant Vishnu Krishna mantra. Narottam Thakur saying, Shri Rupa Manjari mantra is only my mantra. Say mora vedara dharam. Anukula habe vidhi, say pade hoibe siddhi. Oh, when I'll get perfection. Perfection where? At the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. That's only my perfection. Shri Narottam Thakur following the footsteps of all Rupanuga Guru Vargas. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiv Goswami. The priority is the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. And Shri Narottam Thakur also wrote in that bhajan, Kabe Loknath Sange Laya Jabe, Shri Rupa Pad Padme Mor Samarpive. When my Gurudev, my Guru Pad Padma, Shri Loknath Goswami will take my hand in his hands and offer me at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Manjari. Maharaj said, in this bhajan of Shri Narottam Thakur, he breathed the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Just like Param Gurudev, he manifested Radha Vinod Bihari Ashtakam. Radha Chinta Niveshanam Yasya Kanti Vilopita Shri Krishna Charanam Vande Radha Lingitam Vikraham. Krishna lost his bluish complexion by constantly thinking, remembering Radharani. The name of Radharani, the form of Radharani, the qualities of Radharani, the pastimes of Radharani. Krishna lost his complexion. So Ashray Vigraha is more important. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also wrote, Shri Krishna Virahe Radhikara Dasha Amito Sahite Nari. I cannot tolerate, I cannot bear how my Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna. I cannot tolerate this. That's our philosophy. As Srimad Bhagavatam says. In the Ras Leela, Sacha mene taratpanam varishtam sarv yoshitam hetu gopi kaman aso bhajati priya tattva gatva vanam desham dritram kesham abravit na pareham chalitam nay mam yatrate manaha evam uktam priya ahas kand oraite tin tatascha antardhay Krishna savadu anvatatte. In short, excuse me. In short, this verse from Ras Leela said, Radharani said, Krishna, I cannot walk further. And Krishna said, come and sit on my shoulders. And then Krishna disappeared from Ras Leela. And Radharani started weeping and weeping, praying, Hanath Raman Preshta, Kwasi Kwasi Mahabhuja, Dasyaste Karpanye me Sakhe Darshan Sanidhim. Oh my beloved Krishna, where are you? Where are you? I am your maid servant. Please extend your darshan to me. Oh long arm ones, where are you? But by hearing this word, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was not happy. Because Radharani is feeling separation from Krishna. Whereas in Geet Govinda by Jayadev Goswami, he's saying, Itas tatad anusmritya anangavan khin manasa kritanu tapi sakalam dinandani Tatant Kunje Vishad Madhava. When Radharani leaves Ras Leela in Vasant Ras, when Radharani leaves Ras Leela, then Madhav means Krishna at Imlitala next to our Gopinath Bhavan in Vrindavan. In separation from Radharani, he's in Vishad, he's in separation and crying and weeping, calling out Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. And he lost his complexion and got golden complexion Radha. So Ashya Vigraha is important than Vishya Vigraha. In the same sequence, our Srila Gurudev also, he established Shri Vrinda Devi in Shirup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, along with Mahaprabhu and Radha Vinod Bihari. Jamuna Maharani at Durvasa Gaudiya Math, and Shri Giriraj in Shri Girdhari Gaudiya Math. Why? We can't and we don't want to serve Krishna without the shelter of Ashya Vigraha. So just by this one bhajan, Shirupa Manjari Pada, Srila Maharaj gave so many details of the predominance of Ashya Vigraha, and that's Radharani. Then Srila Maharaj also used to say this example of the pastime happened at Govardhan at Pethagram, where Krishna, he assumed 4 hand forms, Chaturbhuj Narayan form. When he disappeared from Ras Leela, then all the gopis running in search for Krishna, and they saw Narayan and they paid obeisances to Narayan, even though he was Krishna. The gopis paid obeisances to Narayan and they left. But when Radharani came, Krishna not able to hold his forearm form. He was trying to play a trick. But just by seeing Radharani, he melted and his 2 hands, 2 arms disappeared. He assumed his Krishna form, Murli Krishna form. So we all hear this when we go Braj Mandal Parikrama. But Srila Maharaj added such an important point in this. You see, this is called subtle vision and going deep into the philosophy. Srila Maharaj gave this point that those gopis who were following Radharani, fortunately they saw Krishna with 2 arms playing flute. But those who were ahead of Radharani, they only saw Krishna 4-armed form. That means following the footsteps of Radharani, following the footsteps of Ashray Tattva, Ashya Vigraha. If someone really want to see Krishna or to adore the beauty of Krishna or want to develop the desire to serve Krishna, everyone is supposed to follow the footsteps of Radharani. So those who do this, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, those who do this, they can fully get the proximity of Krishna and get the service of Krishna under the guidance of Radharani. That's Radha Dasyam. The Maharaj gave such a wonderful point. Also, from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Maharaj said, in the time of Rath Yatra, today is return Rath. In the time of Rath Yatra, Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu dancing and singing in front of chariot, along with Mahaprabhu and Shri Nityan Prabhu and all associates. But Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu, he did Shri Jagannath Parikrama. When Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in front of chariot, the chariot moving so smoothly. Mahaprabhu is happy to see Jagannath. Jagannath is happy to see Mahaprabhu. And they both are crying to see each other. So much reciprocation of those transcendental ecstasies and moods between Jagannath and Mahaprabhu. But moment Mahaprabhu goes back behind the Rath to play, to see how Jagannath react on this, how Krishna is going to react on this, The chariot does not move. Chariot is not moving because Krishna cannot see Radharani, means Krishna. Jagannath cannot see Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu means Krishna, who is in the mood of Radharani. The chariot is not moving. So when Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu, while all Mahaprabhu and all associates dancing, Advaitacharya Prabhu going behind the chariot, the Rath is not moving anymore. The chariot not moving anymore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's Mahaprabhu. But when Shri Advaitacharya Prabhu doing parikrama and he complete that parikrama, Mahaprabhu used to say, Advaita, you lost, you defeated, you lost. And no one was understanding what Mahaprabhu meant. You lost and you got defeated. Mahaprabhu said, seeing Krishna, how can one take their eyes away from Krishna? Advaita, you performing parikrama, and the moment you went back behind the chariot, not able to see Krishna, you lost that vision of Krishna. Mahaprabhu is saying in the mood of Radharani. Because when Radharani is seeing Krishna, her eyes get stuck to just see one limb of Krishna. Therefore she say, I never saw Krishna in my life. I never saw complete Krishna in my life. If I see one eye of Krishna, my eyes get stuck there. So I'm not able to see the other eye. If I see one hand of Krishna, I cannot see the other one because my eyes get stuck, because beauty of Krishna from toe to head is unparalleled. The beauty which is Asma Ordam Ananya Siddhim, unparalleled. So Advaita, how you can go back when Krishna is giving darshan? Radharani, when she's adoring the beauty of Krishna, some tears come in her eyes and the eyes gets moisture. She condemned those transcendental ecstasies, those tears. Why you came on my way when I'm adoring the beauty of my beloved Krishna? Condemning those ecstasies, that bliss for which every devotee yearns for. We are singing this. Hari Hari Bolite Naine Babe Nira. When the day will come in my life, when the tears come in my life, I'm chanting uttering the name of Hari. We yearn for this. But Radharani is condemning those tears. So Mahaprabhu said, you lost. Another point, Srila Maharaj said, when Mahaprabhu is totally absorbed, seeing the scene of Kusum Sarovar, Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri. Sometimes he get locked in Gambhira by Swarup Damodar, Shri Ramanand Rai and all associates, because Mahaprabhu used to run away and it's so difficult to find him. Kabu Singhu Dwar Pade, Kabu Sindhu Tire. Sometimes devotees find him outside the line gate of Jagannath Puri temple, and sometimes he's in ocean. His all joints open and he assumes a big, huge body. And all devotees in the morning, they're in search of Mahaprabhu. They're moving on all directions. Shri Swarup Damodar Goswami came on the shore and he saw a fisherman who's chanting madly, is chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And he's telling Swarup Damodar Goswami, don't go there. There's a ghost. I'm a fisherman, a poor fisherman. I spread out my fish net to get some fish for my income. That's my work. But I thought a big fish got caught in my net. But that was a huge body. Moment I touched that body, I don't know what's happening to me. I got just like a ghost haunted me. And I was just chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And Swarup Damodar Goswami gave a slap to him. That's a good that a good ecstasy. Then he understood it was Mahaprabhu. They came to Mahaprabhu,
Hold on a
and
minute,
Mahaprabhu was in totally absorption. He's seeing the pastimes of Radha Krishna and Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu saw this, was absorbed in this. And Swarup Damodar Goswami called all devotees, those who were in search. They came and they start chanting Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mahaprabhu came back to his consciousness. When Mahaprabhu came back to his consciousness, what he said? This is kolahal, means disturbance. You disturbed. Mahaprabhu addressed Mahamantra as a disturbance. So on this point, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj said, why Mahaprabhu came to this planet? What is his purpose? To establish this Yuga Dharma, means a secondary reason of Mahaprabhu coming. There are many other primary reasons also. Shri Radha Pranay Mahima Ki Drisho Vanima. That's a different subject. But he came to give this Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu said, Enechi Aushadi Maya Nashivara Lagi. Hari Nama Maha Mantra Laho Tumi Magi. I brought this Maha Mantra. Golokera Premadhan Harinam Sankirtan. Mahaprabhu brought this Harinam Sankirtan, which is the wealth of Golok Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu distributed this, Mahaprabhu inaugurated this. Mahaprabhu is founder of this. But on the level of absorption in that Ras Vichar, this Mahaprabhu made this Sankirtan diminished in its value in comparison of absorption in that Ras Vichar, where Mahaprabhu was absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. He addressed Sankirtan as disturbance. This is kolahal. This is verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a kolahal. Maharaj smilingly he used to say, Mahaprabhu, he gave this Harinam Sankirtan to everyone, even to animals, to everyone, and he changed everyone. But when he is absorbed in his ras, in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, in that absorption, on that level, then Maha Mantra become disturbance to him. You see, so much subtle point. That was the speciality of Srila Maharaj. How we can understand the mood of Acharya? Not only restricted to what he used to eat, how he used to smile, what he used to wear. Although these are also glories, no doubt. But actual glories is their vichar, their absorptions, their contributions to this world, the contributions to us. That's more important. So Srila Maharaj, personality, very grave. His words full of gravity. His vichar, not ordinary. Even seeing any person, any brahmachari with cloths, he used to comment, related this to some pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And while speaking, then he goes deep into those pastimes. So not that when he started giving initiation, we say he's Acharya. Even prior to giving initiation, he's Acharya. What is the measurement of Guru or Acharya? one who has so many centers, one who has so many disciples, this is a consideration? Then there are so many motivational speakers around the world, and millions of people follow them. Are they acharyas? No. Then how many disciples Shri Gaur Krishna Babaji Maharaj? If this is only consideration, how many Gaudiya Muds Shri Rup Goswami, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Babaji Maharaj established? That's not consideration. These are the words of Srila Maharaj. I'm repeating his words. Once upon a time, his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, asked him, I'm thinking who will become my successor? Who will take up this responsibility of Acharya? Do you? Srila Maharaj understood that his Guru Maharaj is testing on him. But straightforward, Srila Maharaj said that Guru Maharaj, so far I have not developed this mood of being so much compassion to see the sufferings of jivas in this material world. I am not this mood. I am not like Prahlad Maharaj or Vasudev Dutt, seeing that everyone is suffering in this material world. I have not that compassion. Therefore, I am not qualified for this. So this dealing between his Guru Maharaj and Maharaj is giving lesson. But then there are other further details, as Srila Bhakti Raksha Sridhar Goswami Maharaj also he mentioned in his books and other considerations. Srila Maharaj started giving initiation in very advanced age. Prior to that, he was not giving initiations at all. But I would say yes, he was giving initiation. In what form? Just only giving mantras is not initiation. But giving instructions and teachings is also initiation. What is meaning of Diksha? Diksha means Divya Gyan Yado Dadat Kudasya Pap Sankshayam. Divya Gyan, imparting transcendental knowledge in the heart of disciple. So just like Diksha Guru gives mantra and give Diksha, Shiksha Guru also give mantra and giving Diksha. And this process of Diksha goes every single day. Not only just receiving mantra, we can say the mantra, we receive Diksha. In related to this, before I forget, Srila Maharaj used to say, one who gives Harinam is your Diksha Guru. One who gives Harinam. But then Shiksha Guru nourish disciples with Shiksha. So Shiksha Guru also gave transcendental knowledge. Srila Maharaj was also acting as Shiksha Guru to so many aspiring devotees. So he was in that sense imparting transcendental knowledge, giving transcendental knowledge in the heart of his Shiksha disciples was also Diksha. In true sense. I don't know how much time I have. I think I already spoke more than 1 hour. And it's getting late in some countries.
Maharaj, you're very welcome to. For me, you're very welcome to continue, but it's up to you, and people can.
Can you take another 10 minutes?
Yes, please. Okay. Please do.
Srila Maharaj also gave very important insight on the word sevaka. He said, everyone is supposed to become Uttam Sevak, not Kanishta Sevak. He gave very wonderful idea of those who are volunteers and those who are sevakas. Volunteers are those who don't take responsibility, and volunteers just walk in and they do some seva and they walk out. And if they don't want to do any seva, then fine, they have no responsibilities. But sevak is the one who take a responsibility and then serve. So what is the difference? Volunteer also serving, but volunteer serving without responsibility. If volunteer is going through some, because it's naturally when we start serving, there's always some ups and downs. Always we get glorified by so many, and also we get criticized by so many. That's the nature. Srila Maharaj said once, he said, while your service to your Gurudev, to the mission, while you're preaching, there will be so many critics will come on the way. And also some glories will come on the way. Don't get puffed up to hear those glories, and don't get disheartened seeing that some section, some people don't like you. March forward. He said, I never cared for all these things. I always cared for what my seva is, to serve my Guru Maharaj and to serve the mission. I never step back, no matter what happens. And he gave account of so many of his Guru Maharaj pastimes, how his Guru Maharaj was also been, that's not a subject to speak on, but that's a history. But his Guru Maharaj also never stopped his preaching, even though he got being blamed or criticized by some of his godbrothers. He never stepped back. So sevak is one who always take a responsibility and serve. Without responsibilities cannot be called service, because then you are responsible for that service, Maharaj said. Service, in that service, the sevaka, he get rewarded from his authorities, and volunteers get rewarded according to what they are performing. I think you're understanding what I'm saying. Volunteer means mood. I'm in a good mood and I will serve. If I'm not in a good mood, I won't serve. But sevak will not see his mood or her mood. Sevak takes the responsibility and serve whatever mood it is. Even get chastised by Gurudev or even get affection by Gurudev. Because he can't escape, and he don't want to escape from this mood of service. No matter what happens. No matter what happens, never leaves. And that service has to be also unconditional service. I often say this point to make myself realize this. I'm not instructing to anyone, please. So I can become firm in this point. When a sevak take a responsibility and serve, so many good times and bad times comes on the way. So if right in the beginning, we're expecting that because I'm serving my Gurudev, serving my Vaishnava and serving Krishna, I should always get a good times. I expect a good times. That means I'm implying a condition in my love to my Gurudev and in love to Krishna. Whereas our philosophy, following the footsteps of Braj Gopis, following the footsteps of Radharani, that love is unconditional love. There is no condition applied in that love. That's why Shri Rupa Goswami addressed that Rati is Samartha Rati, where there is no condition applied. and absorbed in the mood of Radharani, Krishna, as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uttered the 8th verse of Shikshashtakam. Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtu mam, mama darshnahat va karotu va, yatha tatha va vidhatu lampato, mat pranathastu eva napara. Not going word to word translation, but the essence is, Krishna, even if you making me sad or giving me pain by not appearing in front of me, or even if you give me bliss and happiness by appearing in front of me, mat pranathastu eva napara. You always was and will remain the life of my life, my beloved. Mat Pranath, the Lord of my life. This is unconditional love. Not that you're putting in separation, that you're not Lord of my life. In Brahmar Geet, Radharani is feeling separation and addressing to Bumblebee, addressing to Uddhavji. Even though saying, don't trust these black people. They're always lying, they're always cheaters. Krishna cheated us. But then Uddhavji said, even though you're saying, don't trust those black people, don't trust, and you many other things you're saying for Krishna. But since I'm here, you're only speaking about Krishna. Why don't you just stop speaking about Krishna then? And the gopi said, this is the problem. Tad alam asis sakhi dustajyam tat kathartham. We cannot give up his katha. We cannot give up his katha. And that's why gopis and Radharani control Krishna than anyone else. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosai Maharaj used to say, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, tomar shakati ache. Ami to kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. Who can give us Krishna? One who has Krishna can give us Krishna. And in one proportion one has Krishna can only give Krishna. Srila Maharaj said, Dasya Ras, devotees can only give Krishna to only that level. Only that much as they realize or they have Krishna, according to mood. Sakhya Ras can only give as much as they can. Vatsalya Ras can only give as much as they can. And Madhur Ras can give according to their capacity. And Madhur Ras is according to measurement, calculation, all rasas are same in their dealings, in their service to Krishna, but according to neutral consideration, we see there is some gradations from Dasya to Sakhya to Vatsalya and Madhur Ras. And who can give Krishna the most? In Madhur Ras, not Sadharni Rati, Kubja, not Samanjasya Rati, the queens of Dwarika, but Samartha Ratis, means the Braj Gopis. And in those Braj Gopis, Tyorapi Ubhe Madhe, Radhika Sarva Radhika, Mahabhav Sarupani, Guner Atir Varyasi. Among those Braj Gopis, Radha Rani. But she can give Krishna, no one else can give Krishna. Therefore, Radha Dasyam. What she can give, no one else can give. And in our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, we have no direct relationship with Radha Krishna, only through Radharani. Gopi Bharutu Padakambaleo Das Das Anudas. The relationship with Krishna is because he is beloved of my Radharani. That's the relation. So, begging this seva of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, getting this seva to Krishna as a sevaka, not as volunteer, and also with that unconditional love, not with condition that I will only, Krishna, I should always get bliss. I should not get any troubles. In addition to this, Srila Gurudev, Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj used to say, did ever Prahlad requested that I should not get any troubles? Did he ever said this? He happily accepted those troubles. Did ever Meera, she requested I should not get any trouble. She got poisoned by her husband. She never said this. Did Srila Haridas Thakur said to those people, those soldiers, and to Mahaprabhu, please don't beat me in 22 marketplace? He happily accepted this. Did Braj Gopis going through so hard time meeting with Krishna? They happily accepted all circumstances. I'm saying this is very high. That doesn't mean I'm following this. I'm trying to understand this at this stage. Following this is very high. We immediately get any unfavorable circumstances come, we immediately get disturbed and we stop serving, whereas we should not. I'm trying to imbibe this. Just trying. It's very hard. It's easy to say and express. But Srila Maharaj, this is glorious. He used to say, become sevaka. Without any condition. And ending up by saying, as this happened in his life history, that some brahmacharis complained the temple in charge is not supplying us good diet, as Guru Maharaj even ordered the temple president to supply us good diet. So we won't stay in this temple if we don't get good diet. And they came to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to you please complain to Guru Maharaj. And Srila Maharaj said, reply to brahmacharis, I can't. When I joined my Guru Maharaj, there was not a contract that I will stay in the temple and serve only if I get a good diet or good meal. There was not a contract between me and my Guru Maharaj. There was no contract like this. There was no condition there. That's unconditional. You see, in the life history of Srila Maharaj, throughout his life, with his own practices, he's showing this example of unconditional love. It starts with serving his Guru Maharaj unconditionally. Even though my Guru Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, told his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj, that this boy is serving Narottam Prabhu, serving day and night in Braj Mandal Parikrama, in Navdim Mandal Parikrama. Whole day he's serving all visitors, all those guests and devotees. And in the night he's not sleeping. He's just guarding everyone. Srila Maharaj used to say, I used to guard everyone and used to do parikrama whole night. And I was chanting Radhe Sham to guard devotees from thieves, etc. So my Guru Maharaj told to Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj, this boy is serving so much, he will fall sick one day like this. And Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj told to our Srila Maharaj, take care of your health. And Srila Maharaj thought, health can be taken care of later. But this is opportunity to service. And Srila Maharaj always used to give this instruction. Whenever there is opportunity of service, immediately avail that. Without a delay. Immediately avail that, because this opportunity may not come again in your life. Immediately avail that opportunity. So there are so many glories. I just touched few of his points. His personality is so glorious. His acharan, his conduct, all glorious. His bhajan is all glorious. His harikatha, all glorious. His preaching, every activity of Srila Maharaj is all glorious. And all glorious are devotees who are actually sincerely following the footsteps of Srila Maharaj. I am not worthy to pray to Srila Maharaj for his mercy, for his blessings, but to his associates, I do beg to all of you, can it possible that I can get a fraction of that inspiration in the heart to follow that standard which Maharaj expected from all of us? He was a so great hope after Srila Gurudev left 2010. The whole entire world was so happy because they were seeing Srila Gurudev presence in Srila Maharaj. But now in his absence, only their Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, Srila Maharaj, their instructions, their books, their teachings, their memories. Only this can save us. So, ending up by asking something in return, that can I get a fraction of that inspiration? I can follow that conduct and follow what Maharaj instructed me to follow. May he can supply his association, and this can only possible when there is some living Acharya like him. So please, O Acharyas, O Gurudev, O Srila Maharaj, please reveal someone like yourself again so that our life can be saved and we can imbibe that mood of become a sevaka and not a volunteer. Vancha Bhaktarvacha Kripa Sindhuvyeva cha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj Ji ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Thank you, Didi. Thank you, both Charu Chandrika Didis. Thank you so much for this.
Actually, she's Chandrika Didi, and she stole my name. Because you had to sign on in my name, isn't it?
Yeah.